Hello, and thank you for tuning in to the O'Rourke Report. We have a lot to go into. A lot of things happened this week. So let me start out by saying if you want to be notified every time we put in a new installment of the O'Rourke Report, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button. The most important one is the subscribe button because then you'll get it in your feed. You don't have to be notified, but if you want to have up to the minute notification, hit the notification button as well as the subscribe button. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. As always, I hate that expression, appreciate you. Sorry, apologies. So, anyway, let's go into what we have. Let me just start by saying if you have, and I'm sure all your friends have told you this, if you have not watched Nobody Wants This on Netflix, it's a 10 episodes, half-hour episodes, starring Adam Brody of the original, the one that started it all, really, even though it was drama, was the OC. He played the son, Adam Brody, fantastic. Played the son, Seth. It stars Adam Brody and Kristen Bell, who's doesn't really put a lot of feet wrong. She tends to be very smart in things that she selects, from Veronica Mars to Frozen to everything else she's done. So anyway, if you haven't seen it, it is so well written. It's just clever, good writing, and you can't go wrong with that. You can tell a love story a million, 50,000 times, different type of ways. But if you don't have the good writing, if you don't have that talent, you don't have anything. And this show's got it. It's so good. Watch it. Okay. Let's go on to RHONY. RHONY. The thing that I really noticed about RHONY, if I can say, is 55. Okay. If I can say, is it seems we're setting up the year to have everybody kind of, not everybody, but it looks like Bryn is really annoying people. Let's put it this way. Bryn is annoying people, her cast, as well as the people who have to view her. I personally find her very annoying. Anybody still doing the Cupid girl act at whatever her age, which is I gotta figure is mid-30s, maybe mid to late 30s. She is playing the Cupid doll for all it's worth, desperately looking for that desperate old goat who's got one foot in the grave, one foot on the banana peel, but a lot of money in the bank. She's she's just not. Yeah, she's. I just don't think she's very appealing. She moved from the West Village to Gramercy, where she's probably going to find that old goat, although he's probably going to be gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that to me. In many ways, that could be the perfect husband. But so she's done that. What else has she done? Oh God, she's just constantly throwing Erin under the bus. Now, Erin wasn't my number one favorite, although I thought she was very intelligent. I thought she was emotionally intelligent as well. She didn't get down into the weeds with people, and but she's picking fights with Erin amongst other people. Oh, the other thing I have about Bryn here, you know who Bryn reminds me of? Tell me I'm not wrong. Tawny Katane from White Snake videos in the 80s fame. She does the whole hair flip, the whole 9 yards. I believe Tony Katane has gone to her great reward, but that's exactly who Bryn is playing. Couldn't care less, don't really like it. I hope she changes. Other little thing I noticed, there's a confessional look that Erin does, that she looks just like Stassi Schroeder from Vanderpump fame. Tell me she doesn't. If it's bothering you in the back of your mind, saying, "Oh my God, who does she look like?" She looks just like Stassi. Sia in dreads. Not a good look. Not a good look on many people. I would say if 100 people did dreads, maybe two look attractive. It's not a good look, just my opinion. I know, don't hate me. Um, First impression on the newbie, who Raquel is, wow. She looks like she's going to bring some major female energy in a big way. She's big and big. She's going to be very interesting to watch. Jessel is Jessel. She's adorable. Her husband's adorable. Evidently, I think it was Bryn who brought up some old emails that Sia had put out bashing Jessel, and everybody knows she bashed Jessel last year. And she bashed Jessel's husband as well. Well, Jessel and the husband take it and run with it, and they are adorable. Sia also shows some real self awareness, although she's still kind of using her temperament as an excuse to behave badly. Is never a good excuse. We don't care what you're like when you get mad, just don't make it mean and nasty, which is apparently what you do. But anyway, she's just showing a lot of self awareness and maybe some growth from last year. I've said this a couple of times. What a gift! Although I don't know if I could withstand it. What a gift it would be to see yourself on camera, to see yourself as others see you. And she took that as, it sounds like to me, she took it as a gift, and she's making some changes on stuff on rough edges that weren't very attractive. Can't wait to see more on that. Okay. Yes. Now let's go into Salt Lake City, which was also very interesting. One of the here's a little. Yeah, I got something up for odds and ends. But this Bronwyn, apparently, Christian Siriano, who is, almost everybody knows, was one of the super successful winners of Project Runway. He's gone on to having a major brand, a tremendous red carpet, everything. And he's a local guy. He lives in Westport. He lives close by. I thought I saw his property the other day. I was like, I won't tell you the road I was driving down, but I was like, oh my God, I think that's Christian Siriano's house. Because I've seen it like on, I don't know, it wasn't Architectural Digest, but, various magazines. So anyway, Christian Siriano was on Watch What Happens Live. And apparently his number one client, according to Kristen on Watch What Happens Live, is this Bronwyn from Salt Lake City. Now, as she explains on the show, her husband, uber wealthy, I'm imagining, he was the starter of Palm Pilot. And if you remember in the early aughties, before the iPhones came out, everybody had to have a Palm Pilot. They had a Palm Pilot and they had a BlackBerry. And it was huge. I used to sell IT, and that was a huge seller, were the Palm Pilots. And I don't know if he sold the business to, I'm watching Chloe in the background. What are you doing there, Chloe? Um, presumably he sold it to somebody and he made millions and millions, millions and millions, which apparently he lavishes on his wife. And as little I can tell, that's her only claim to fame. She married smart, but boy, oh boy, does she think she's all that and a bag of chips. I really thought that she was really ridiculous the way she came after Heather at one point. She had this very ghetto, not ghetto, I shouldn't use that expression, very street type of attitude toward her. Oh, she said to Heather, "You better come at me correct." Oh, and Heather looked at her and kind of joked at her a little bit. So yeah, Bronwyn thinks she's all that in a bag of chips because she married a rich guy. Okay, let's see how that works out for you. Let's see. And this poor Brittany girl going out with who apparently is Mormon or Salt Lake City royalty, an Osmond. I don't know if it's one of the brothers or the cousins or who knows who this guy is. But it was kind of hard to watch a little bit. It was hard to watch a little bit. Because I don't know if we've all been there, haven't we? Pining for some guy who, is just stringing us along. And I think that's what's happening to this girl. and she ended up in tears. And I do want to talk about the rebirth of Mary Cosby. Oh my God. Last year I was saying that they should just kick her off the show. She brings nothing to the show. She never brought anything to the show. She never showed except a delusional sense of self-importance and fashion. She's like this Bronwyn. She wears these clown outfits, these costumes. It has nothing to do with enhancing her and how she looks. It has everything to do with, look at me, I have a ridiculously expensive costume on, and it doesn't really look that good on me. So anyway, the rebirth of her this year. She's funny, she's sassy. I want to hear more from her. There's an intelligence coming through, which I would have never guessed with the way we've seen her in the last couple of years. So it was really delightful, delightful change. All right, let's do this. Okay, we're going to go on to the OC. Okay, hold on one second. I got to organize myself once again. Okay, I think I got myself a little organized here. Okay, on the OC, poor Shannon is falling apart at the seams. She is not coping with anything. She's just the definition of high maintenance. High maintenance. I think anybody who's ever been a friend with Shannon or married to Shannon or whatever to Shannon will tell you that she is high maintenance. She is not able, her conflict resolution skills are terrible. It's kind of hard to watch. And then when she did the inadvertent butt dial, apparently, what had happened? Um, Tamara had called her. She didn't pick up, but a couple of seconds later, Tamara's phone rings and it's Shannon. She's talking to somebody in the room going 100 miles an hour on how they're going to combat what John Jansen and Alexis Bellino are releasing to the sites, the Instagram sites, the bloggers and things like that, which I think was the intent to sue her for the $75,000. And Shannon, instead of somehow resolving that conflict outside of the cameras, she take the money from him? Did she say she was going to pay it back? Just shut up and pay it back. Shut up and pay it back. Don't cause all the other drama that you're causing. So it's kind of sad. And then, of course, we had a little continuation of Tamrat doubling down on Jen Pendrati's paramour, Ryan, who she mentions. Oh, I think this was Emily who said this, that Ryan's job is going to Las Vegas. Well, somebody's got to do it. And what else did we have? We had Potomac. Potomac was back. And the only thing I can say about Potomac, if you guys watch Potomac, so I've watched it from the beginning. If you know Karen Huger's personality, there is nothing that can be more devastating to her. This carefully crafted grande dame facade that she has, than what happened to her with the drunk driving and the arrest. Could you think of something worse that could happen to Karen, or Karen could do to have exposed? I can't imagine what a blow this is. And of course, you have Giselle, who doesn't have her fellow green-eyed bandit with her this year. Robin Dixon was not asked back because she was very predictable and didn't really bring much to the table. Giselle is going to pick up Karen from her home and take her out in public, which Karen apparently hasn't done for a month after her accident and her arrests and things coming to light about a drinking problem that she may have. And Karen, to me, when they go to a little local restaurant, apparently Karen knows the owner, and it's a safe place for Karen. And she looks to me like she's sedated. I mean, this is how tough it is for her to get in front of a camera. It looks like she's sedated herself up to the eyeballs because she knows Giselle while posing as a friend. And indeed, yes, she's known Karen for decades. She's there. It's a very competitive friendship. They throw digs at each other constantly. And Giselle can't help herself, but trying to elicit some laughter out of Karen is throwing gentle little digs. It's not working. And oh, the scenes where we see Karen with the new cast member who named Stacy, who apparently used to be a presenter on QVC. They're meeting in some store and they have this very staged conversation apparently, and it was so staged and so phony. I don't even remember what it was about, but it was something Karen wanted to establish, and she is using the new cast member as her accomplice to have this very staged conversation. So anyway, that was Potomac. It's just interesting to watch Karen not able to use her usual haughty demeanor to get herself out of a fix that she's in because the accident and the DWI were very, very public. So let's go on to our favorite, a little wrapperoo up here. It is our odds and ends. And I found two very interesting things here. I love my real estate shows. And here are two crossovers we didn't even know we needed. But now that we know about them, we absolutely need. The first one was on one of my faves, Selling Sunset. New season's out, binged it, totally great. During the new season, who do we see? We have a Selling Sunset and the Valley crossover. Evidently, Chriselle is meeting with another realtor at a house, and who is it but Michelle from the Valley, the one who's since divorcing her husband, the pretty little dark-haired one. Um, I kind of love that. I love the crossover. And again, we had another Selling Sunset crossover with my fave, Tracy Tudor, $1 Million Listing. Now, we don't see Tracy Tudor on Selling Sunset because there very much is evidently there's different levels of being a real estate agent. One can sell, one can't sell, one has to be blah, 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 blah. And Million Dollar Listing looks down their nose at Selling Sunset because these are not, I'm not going to say the word legitimate real estate agents. They're not licensed to do what the crew on $1 Million Listings do. So they look down their nose. Well, anyway, who do we have at Selling Sunset but this client, Melanie, who's trying to sell Stone Canyon, that Tracy Tudor had in her season? Evidently, this Melanie wasn't really happy with the common sense that Tracy Tudor was giving her and shops her property around. She gets Chriselle from the Oppenheim group, and Chriselle kind of tells her the same thing Tracy Tudor tells her. But unlike Tracy Tudor, Chriselle agrees with this Melanie to list it at the higher price. I'd love to know if this property ever sold, but it had some real problems. Specifically, there was new build that was literally, only a couple of 100 feet from the other property, and they could look in each other's windows. I guess they tried to put plantings up. There were a bunch of things they tried to do to mitigate that property, but it had some real issues. So anyway, that's all we have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I absolutely appreciate it as always. Had a lot of stuff go on, a lot of new stuff. Keep us busy for the next couple of months. So again, let me end by saying, if you like what you saw and you want to see more and you want to know about it when it comes on, hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. Leave comments. Let me know what you think. And as always, I so appreciate you dropping by. And Thank you for coming by the O'Rourke Report.